Hits 96.
Hits 96, Chattanooga's #1 hit music station. Joining me right now via Zoom, a true rising star in the music world. Not only is she a talented artist who has already made some significant waves, but she's also currently a sophomore over at Vanderbilt University in Nashville. She's balancing her academic pursuits along with trying to set off a music career. She has a new song out now. It's called Say It, and we're going to get into that. But first, let's get to know Lexi Anand a little bit better. Lexi, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, we're so excited to have you on. You're an up-and-coming artist, as they say, and I think it's true to the absolute word. And it is, you do have kind of an interesting story right now, kind of pursuing two worlds at the same time. So before we get into that, though, what should we know about you? Where are you from? And then maybe talk about how you kind of fell into the music thing, and then we'll talk about the other stuff.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Naples, Florida. It's a quiet beach town in Southwest Florida. And I kind of found music. Well, actually, my mom put me in kinder music classes when I was maybe months old, very young. And
Wow.
so I just kind of clung to it. And I actually started writing songs in first grade, all because of my teacher, because I guess we all had these like little writing assignments. I don't know what a writing assignment is in first grade, but
Right.
whatever that meant. She just noticed that I loved writing. And so she gave me this extra journal to kind of do additional writing work in, and that kind of evolved into songs.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and yeah, after I found songwriting, I was hooked and I've been doing that ever since.
And that's pretty young, right? What grade? First grade? That's like what, 5, 6 years old?
Yeah, I think I was 6.
6 years old. So it kind of really maybe not understanding 100% what you were doing, but at least had that got bit by that bug.
Yeah, I think my first song was called When I Wake Up, and it was about waking up in various places. So
There you go.
not too much substance, but I
No,
was,
no. Well, you got to write what you know, right? That's the whole
yeah,
trick there. Write what you know.
exactly.
So your last single, Exit, huge success. It has over 248,000 organic streams. That's a big deal. That's very cool. Let's talk about that song a little bit, maybe the creative process behind it. And then when it comes to songwriting in general, how do you kind of dive into a topic? What kind of comes to you? But first, let's start off with Exit, because that's a song, and people can actually check out the music video and all of that on our website at hits96.com. But what should we know about Exit?
Yeah, so I wrote Exit about 2 years ago now. And so I wrote the song just all by myself here in Naples, and then I had the opportunity to fly to Nashville before I was going to school there. And I met with Bill McDermott, who's this incredible producer out of Omni Sound. Um, and so I sat with him, I played him the song, and I played him kind of some ideas I had for the production. And then we just built the song out there, and we recorded the live instruments at Station Inn.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that was the entire process of making that song. And it's so awesome to produce and be in the studio in Nashville,
I
especially on
bet.
Music Row or in Berry Hill. It's just such a magical place. So
Yeah.
that was, yeah.
When it comes to your songwriting process, maybe you're working on new stuff or whatever the case may be, how does it kind of start for you as an artist? I know different people have different ways of approaching it. So how's it work for Lexi?
I would say every song has a bit of a different origin, but typically I'm just sitting at a piano or a guitar and I'm just playing a random chord progression, and then I just start like singing, and I don't put much thought into the words. I just kind of like let it all flow, and
Okay.
whatever I sing is just whatever it is. And then I kind of have my melody, and then once I have that melody, I then figure out the story and figure out the lyrics. So I'm definitely more of a melody driven songwriter.
Sure. So music first when it comes down to it, at least to get the ball rolling, as they say.
Yes, definitely.
Very cool. And what do you like to write about when it comes to it? We kind of joked about it earlier, but it's writing what you know, right? And if you want to tell stories, if you want to kind of expand on things. So what do you write about? What do you find yourself writing about more?
I think I take inspiration from a lot of different parts of my life. Honestly, just from like talking to my friends and hearing their stories, I'm inspired. my own life I'm inspired by, I love to journal. So one thing I've noticed is I'll journal about something that's going on in my life, and then from that entry, I'll like take some sort of lyrical idea from that.
Cool.
Or honestly, just like reading books or a movie that I've watched. Honest, like just all different parts of my life I take inspiration
Sure.
from.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, I know different artists have different ways. So they'll hear a line or something, and then they like use their voice notes, on their phone, and it's just like, oh, I love that line. I think, in fact, we were talking before we started recording here. We had Lainey come in town, and they said they were inspired by a documentary that they were watching, and then all of a sudden they just wrote 3 or 4 songs because of that documentary. So I think that's kind of exciting to be able to just be hit by different things and be able to create your own out of that. I think that's really cool.
I heard a songwriting tip from Michael Pollock, who's a big hit songwriter out in
Mhm.
LA, actually. And he said that he would go to a bookstore and go through the book titles and then write those down for like song ideas or song title ideas.
That's very cool too. That's
Yeah.
very cool. I interviewed M. Byhold not too long ago. I'm sure you know about her from Numb Little Bug and stuff. And she said that she'll just shower in the shower. Those are the things. For some reason, that's her spot. And then all of a sudden, the thoughts just keep flowing along with the water. And she made a really big deal out of it. She thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, that's it's all inspiration comes when it comes, and we can't control that. So we're just happy to have it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely there's a book called The Artist's Way, which kind of talks about like trying to discipline creativity, and like if you always write at a consistent time, then the song will kind of show up at that time, which I don't know, I feel like my ideas are always so sporadic, so
Sure.
I try to be disciplined, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
whatever
I
works.
yeah,
Whatever works. We mentioned that you're currently studying at Vanderbilt University. Of course, that is in the Music City, Nashville. You're a sophomore. How has being in Nashville influenced your development as an artist? I can only imagine it's been a huge impact.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, Nashville is kind of the heart of songwriting, and there's such an emphasis there on lyricism and like just live instruments. And I think being in Nashville and being at Vanderbilt has really grown me as a musician, especially um, like I said, my musicianship has really grown there.
Yeah.
I've never been able to study music in an academic setting before. Um, so being at Vanderbilt, I've been able to take songwriting classes and kind of treating music like a school course has been definitely a shift from what I'm used to, but it's also made me a lot more like disciplined in the practice of writing. So yeah, it's been amazing
Yeah.
being at
And you're
Nashville.
also a member of Grammy U, which is a big organization. It could kind of explain how that came about. How do you become a member of Grammy U? How did that all work?
Yeah, so I actually went to Grammy camp in Los Angeles when I was in high school,
Awesome.
and which was an amazing experience. And because of Grammy Camp, I was introduced to Grammy University, which is kind of their college program
Hmm.
of Grammy Camp. And so I immediately joined at Vanderbilt. And I think you can just join through their website.
Okay.
And they have an amazing mentorship program. I was partnered with, for this past year, I was partnered with Mark Beeson, who's a huge songwriter at SMAC. And so I mean, it's just the opportunities with Grammy U are outstanding.
Yeah, so you're really taking it's interesting because there's a lot of artists out there, and not saying there's no right, no wrong way to do it, right? But it is kind of interesting to see your pathway, considering some of the other artists that I've interviewed, because lots of people are just like, well, I picked up a guitar, my parents taught me, and I started playing, and now I'm on TikTok, and here we are talking. But you're really taking an educational route with it too, which I think is pretty interesting, very cool of you to kind of look at and kind of just soak it up like a sponge as much as you can, because you just did an internship too not too long ago at Seacrest Studios. So you're really trying to get that educational. I know you have another one coming up for another music management company in LA. So kind of explain that a little bit. What's your mentality here of focusing obviously on your music and writing and want to provide music and produce music, but at the same time, you want to have an education. Explain your mentality there and why you're going down 2 roads at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many different approaches to being an artist. I think, especially nowadays, with how quickly the music industry is changing. It's so important to be educated on the business side of it. And I don't want to say that like you have to, attend college to understand the business of music. I think like you can read Donald Passman's book and you can I don't know, like look a million things up online. But I think the amazing part about being at Vanderbilt and pursuing internships is it's really taught me a lot about the business side. And while it's taught me the theory of the music business, it's also given me the application of it through the internships I've done. And so I feel a lot more comfortable pursuing being an artist when I have a good foundation in the business
Yeah,
side.
a lot more of an understanding, I can only assume, of where everybody's coming from and what different person's going to have a different impact on what you're trying to do. That must be kind of enlightening in a way, especially up and coming and learning the process as you go.
Mhm. Totally, yeah. I think, yeah, it's definitely a tough business, and I think, um, understanding, um, like contracts and just like all of the, elements of the business is super vital too.
Have you found it challenging to kind of balance both worlds? Because I know at some points you're in it as a student, right? Trying to learn and move on from there. But then at the same time, you're like, and I also have this song that I'd love for you to listen to.
Yeah, it's definitely, a learning curve to figure out and navigate that balance, but
Yeah.
I mean, people at Vanderbilt have been like so receptive to my music. So it's been great as far as like, building support and building a network. Um, so that's been great. I think as far as the balance, I mean, it's really difficult, but I think it's easier because I do have like professors, like the songwriting professor at Vandy. Her name's Deanna Walker. She's, pursuing being a songwriter, but then she's also, a professor at Vandy, and just kind of getting that mentorship from people who are kind of dealing with the same balance has been very helpful for figuring that out.
Sure. And I'm sure I'm sure they encourage it too. I mean, when you're a creative person yourself and you're teaching classes and things, you want your students to be just as creative as you are and to be able to collaborate, if you will, in that process. So that must be very cool. Like I said, I don't think I've talked to an artist that is exploring the educational route as much as you are. And I think that's very inspiring and something that is almost rare nowadays. So kudos to you for doing that. Let's talk about your next single. It drops today. It's called Say It.
Yeah.
You're obviously doing a bunch of different little promo stuff for this one. This is an exciting moment. Hopefully we can follow up Exit, if not even surpass Exit, which would be great when it comes to streams and outreach and all of that. So what should we know about Say It? We're actually going to play it a few minutes on the radio, and just a few minutes we're going to play it for everyone. But what should we know about it before we hear it?
Yeah, so I wrote Say It with Leland Grant, who is this super talented producer in Nashville. And the idea kind of came from me just sitting at my piano playing a chord progression. And then the main hook of the song kind of came to me at that moment. And then I brought it to Leland and we built out this song. And I think the meaning of Say It is um, pretty nuanced. It's kind of about saying, I love you with this intention of preserving a relationship, but there's also this awareness, especially in the final chorus, that saying I love you and that routine act of just saying those words isn't enough to revive a relationship that's already gone. So I hope people can relate to the song, and I'm just really excited for people to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're happy to play it for you. We're going to get to that in just a moment, and we want people to go. Now, will there be a music video and stuff in the future for this song? Is there like a whole? I know you did a music video for Exit and all of that. Is that all in the works?
Yeah, there's going to be a music video, a lyric video. I'm actually performing for Brandy Melville. They have a studio in Santa Monica, so
Awesome.
I'll be doing that today, and hopefully that'll be out soon too.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, there'll be videos definitely.
Excellent. When it comes to music videos and stuff, is that something that you actually enjoy as an artist? Do you get to kind of put your say into that and be creative with that as well?
Yeah, I think for me, I definitely am, I love writing melodies, and that's where my passion all kind of originated, was really just like writing music. But the world has become so visual now. I feel like there's such like a visual emphasis, especially with social media, and even podcasts now have like a visual element.
Yeah.
Um, And so it's so important to have a music video that kind of showcases the essence of the song visually. So that's definitely a newfound passion of mine and figuring that out. But I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing Exit with Ben Oaks. So I'm really excited about this next one with Say It.
Excellent. Well, we are as well, and we can't wait to play for everyone, like I said, and we'll make sure to link up and share everything so people can go and get that and see what it's all about. One final question for you, Lexi. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you again. Obviously, you're just starting out. You got internships to worry about and college to finish and everything else. But what are the long-term aspirations for you in the music industry? What would you consider it a success, say 10 years from now? Where would you like to be?
I hope I'm writing music that people are connecting to. I think I'm a songwriter first, and just writing music that I feel kind of creatively fulfilled in and that other people connect to is really important to me. And I hope I'm performing that music, and I hope people are listening. And yeah, that would be everything and more for me.
Absolutely. That's the goal, right? We want people to listen.
Yes.
Very cool. People can go to lexianand.com for full details on you. Of course, they can follow you on social media at Lexi Anand Music, on TikTok at Lexi Anand. What are your feelings on TikTok? Do you post often? Are you a big social media person? It's really part of the game nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, social media is definitely vital. I think that's like an area of growth for me. And especially when we talked about that balance between being an artist and going to school,
Yeah.
It's being an artist is such a um, layered job. There's so many different aspects, and a big part of that is like also kind of being a semi-influencer. And so that's something that I'm definitely it's an area of growth for me and something I need to um, kind of continue to work on. But
Sure.
yeah, it's
Sure.
super important. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the trick is they what do they say? Just keep posting. I mean, it's just that's the really of it. Just no matter
Yeah.
what it is, don't worry about it being perfect. It's just getting it out there so the people can enjoy it, and if it's real, people will connect. So
Yeah.
excellent. Well, Lexi, thank you again for doing this. This has been super fun. Good luck in the future with the internships and the school, and congratulations on all the success so far. And we're happy to play your song here. Say It right on Hits 96. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hits 90.